My sister, who had been hanging around our house where my husband and I live, suddenly said something like this one day.
Come to think of it, you guys have been married for about a year and a half, right? Are you not planning to have children?
Before I could respond, my husband answered.
It's not that easy, you know.
Oh, so you're dealing with infertility, big sister?
My sister's eyes were maliciously smiling. I remained silent, and she came up with something outrageous.
Poor husband having a wife who's infertile. Should I offer to help?
Surprisingly, even my husband went along with it.
Maybe we should consider divorce.
At this moment, I reached my limit. There are things you can and cannot say, you scumbags. But quietly, I informed my husband, Samuel. Well then, let's get divorced.
Huh?
My husband and sister chimed in together. Both of them looked up as if seeking divine intervention. My name is Haley. I'm a 30-year-old part-time housewife. I was born as the eldest daughter of the Kirk family. My family consists of my father, mother, and my younger sister Maya, who is 3 years younger than me. Though I grew up in such a normal household, my childhood was plagued by insecurities. The root of those insecurities lies with my sister Maya. My sister was far more attractive than me. With her big sparkling eyes, long eyelashes, long limbs, and perfect figure, not to mention her knack for being charming, she was praised by relatives as just like a doll. Our parents showered both of us, including Samuel, with affection, but Maya secretly looked down on me.
If I were as plain as my older sister, I might not have survived.
To think she would say something like that. Yet whenever she needed something, she would come to me and say,
Big sis, please.
I always found Maya's two-faced nature hard to deal with. Wanting to break free from such a relationship, I moved out when I entered school. After graduating, I landed a job at a major corporation and worked diligently. Then one day, a representative from an advertising agency we dealt with asked me,
Would you like to go out for a meal together sometime?
From there, the person who would later become my husband was Samuel. Samuel was 1 year older than me. He seemed refreshingly handsome, like someone working at a major advertising agency. I thought he was almost too good for me. Samuel has been approaching me since we first met. With no prior experience in romance, I found myself increasingly drawn to him, as he always treated me kindly. After a year of dating, Samuel proposed to me. Then, when we went to my parents' house for marriage arrangements, they were overjoyed.
Haley, I'm so happy about your marriage, dear. Oh, isn't he a fine young man?
While such discussions continued, Samuel looked at Maya in surprise.
You're kidding, right? Maya?
Huh? Samuel?
The two of them remained frozen, eyeing each other. What's wrong? Do you two know each other? When I asked, Samuel explained.
We were in the same university club. Maya was a junior.
Huh? Is that so? Then Maya chimed in.
Meeting Samuel here of all places? What a surprise.
Yeah, it's funny how things work out like this.
At that moment, I didn't pay much attention to it. But later, I would come to regret it. Following that, Samuel and I started our newlywed life. Samuel was busy, but he always took the time to help with household chores and look after me. On weekends, he would take me on trips or we'd go to the movies together. I'm glad I married Samuel. I hope we can continue to enjoy peaceful days like this in the future. It was during one of these times, while out with Samuel at the shopping mall on a holiday, that I ran into Maya.
Samuel with big sister. What a coincidence.
Saying that, my sister approached us with a smile. Oh, what a coincidence indeed. Maya, are you shopping today?
Yeah, one of my college club friends is getting married, so I came to buy a gift.
Then Samuel chimed in.
Maya, you know I'm familiar with that, right?
Julie, you probably know her, right?
Oh, that girl. So nostalgic.
Then Samuel and Maya began reminiscing about memories from their club days, things I didn't know about. I was at a loss, feeling awkward, and had no choice but to be there.
Oh yeah, Samuel, let's exchange WhatsApp messages for the congratulations, okay?
Sure thing. Get in touch later.
Right in front of me, they exchanged contact information. For a moment, I thought, I don't like this. But technically, they were relatives, so it wasn't unusual. That's what I tried to reassure myself of.
So, are you two going shopping now?
Oh, we were actually about to head back.
As Samuel responded, Maya grinned.
Well then, maybe I'll join ya.
Maya?
I want to see your love nest. Actually, I have a fiancé and I'd like to get some ideas for the future.
Oh, Maya, you have a fiancé?
Yeah, he's feeling lonely overseas right now. I plan to get married once he's back. So it's okay with you, big sis, right?
Maya, putting on a show of being close only at such times, sweetly spoke. I wanted to refuse, but since Samuel seemed okay with it, I could only nod. We stopped to buy wine on the way and then headed home.
Haley, make sure the snacks are low calorie, okay? I'm on a diet.
Naturally, Maya comes with such instructions. Then Samuel chimed in.
Hey, Maya, you don't need a diet, do you? Your figure is still great as always.
Oh, stop it. This is the result of hard work, you know?
Samuel and Maya exchanged such banter, leaving me behind as they started drinking together.
Oh, Maya's a kindergarten teacher. She's pretty, so I bet the kids adore her, right?
Well, yeah, I love kids, so I chose this profession.
Come to think of it, you were studying early childhood education in college, weren't you? I do love kids too, you know?
While I was preparing snacks, Samuel and Maya continued to chat happily. The conversation was filled with anecdotes that only they understood, leaving me feeling excluded. Just as I was about to bring the snacks I'd made, Maya said this.
Just leave it over there. Hey, Samuel, do you remember that thing?
Even though it was my own home, I felt uncomfortable. As time passed and it grew late, Maya said goodbye and left. Samuel turned to me, seeing how exhausted I was, and said something.
Maya is such a good girl, isn't she? Having a sister who's both beautiful and has a great personality must make you happy, right?
I could only force a wry smile. Maya started doing this more often afterward.
Since my fiancé is overseas, I have a lot of free time,
she'd say. Each time, she'd bring alcohol and spend hours chatting with Samuel, sharing old stories and complaining about work. During that time, it felt like I was completely ignored. Unable to bear it any longer, one day I brought it up with Samuel. Hey, Samuel, isn't Maya coming over to our house a bit too much? Maybe she should tone it down a bit.
What's the matter, Haley? It's fine, she's your sister.
But every time she comes, my plans get disrupted, and she only talks about things I'm not aware of.
Are you feeling jealous? You're cute being jealous like that.
With that, Samuel tried to pat my head. I quickly avoided it and firmly told him in a strong tone. I'm serious about this. Cut it out, I'll talk to Maya myself. At that, Samuel's expression turned sour.
What's the matter? I just think it's better to be on good terms. You saying that? It's cold, Haley.
Huh?
I didn't think you were this narrow-minded, Haley. Don't say unnecessary things to Maya.
With that, Samuel turned his face away and headed to the bathroom. Left alone, all I could do was let out a huge sigh. Even though I had once asked her to tone it down, Maya's sudden visits continued. Whenever Samuel was reliably at home on weekends, Maya would show up almost every week. Despite my reluctance, I endured Maya's persistence. About a year into our marriage, Samuel mentioned that he was busy with a new project at work, and his returns grew later and later. He would often work overtime, coming home past midnight almost daily. I worried about him and took care of him diligently. During that time, Samuel began to grow distant from me. He hardly helped with household chores, and there was little conversation with Samuel during the week, only drinking with Maya on weekends. Besides Maya's visits and Samuel's attitude, there was something else that troubled me. Even after a year of marriage, we couldn't conceive a child. Despite our efforts and timing, there were no signs of pregnancy. It seems like it's a no-go again this month, Samuel. As I reported to Samuel, who came home late with a drooping shoulder, he grimaced.
Seriously? Not again?
I was surprised by his reaction. Initially, he used to say,
Don't worry, let's keep trying.
But,
Didn't I say I wanted kids soon? Maybe the problem lies with you.
I've been to the fertility clinic, but the doctor said there's no issue.
No, that can't be right. The cause of infertility is usually on the woman's side. You should get checked more thoroughly.
That's... Turning away from me, speechless, Samuel had fallen asleep. Samuel, he's clearly changed. Why? Could it be that there's another woman? For the first time, I considered that possibility. The face that immediately came to mind was Maya's. But such a thing couldn't be true. She says she had a fiancé, and it's absolutely forbidden for my sister and my husband to have any relationship. Still, my suspicions lingered, leaving me restless. I felt there was no choice but to confront this head-on, so I decided to request a fresh investigation into Samuel's affairs. At almost the same time, I also decided to look into something else. While waiting for the investigation results, Maya often visited. Samuel would entertain her happily. From the outside, they seemed quite close. Yet, in my presence, they maintained the stance of classmates and brother-in-law, and I remained unable to grasp the truth. Then, several weeks later, on that day as usual, Maya made an unannounced visit to our home in the middle of the day. Samuel and she were reminiscing over drinks as they always did. I silently endured it, feeling like part of the background. Suddenly, Maya changed the topic.
By the way, it's been about a year and a half since you and Samuel got married, right? Aren't you two planning to have kids?
Before I could speak, Samuel responded.
It's not so easy.
Huh? Is that so? Haley, are you infertile?
Maya's eyes were smirking. Before I could respond, she said something outrageous.
It's unfortunate that Samuel's marriage partner is infertile. Shall I offer to help?
Surprisingly, Samuel went along with it.
Should we divorce and try asking Maya? She seems like she'd make a good mom.
I reached my breaking point at this moment. There are some things you can say and some things you can't say, you scumbags. But I calmly told Samuel the truth. Well then, let's get divorced.
Huh?
Maya and Samuel locked eyes. Both widened their eyes in surprise.
Hey, Haley, what are you talking about? It's a joke, right?
That's right, sis. I have a fiancé, you know. You can tell it's just for fun, right?
Seeing the two of them grinning, I spoke up again. Do you think I'm clueless? In front of their eyes, I scattered several photos onto the table. Among them were pictures of Samuel and Maya walking arm in arm, and entering a hotel among other scenes.
Wait, what is this?
To Maya, whose eyes widened in shock, I explained. I put a tracking device on Samuel. You two had something going on, didn't you?
It's not... Haley, wait! This isn't what you think.
Though Samuel turned pale and tried to explain, Maya already wore an expression of resignation.
Well, if it's already out in the open, there's nothing I can do about it. It's inevitable, isn't it? Since Samuel ended up liking me more than my plain and boring older sister, it can't be helped, right?
So that's your argument. Does your fiancé know about this? At that moment, Maya's expression turned anxious.
Well, it's none of his business, right?
None of his business? It's a big deal, because right now I'm on the phone with him.
Huh?
At that point, I showed Maya the screen of my phone. There, Maya's fiancé's name was displayed.
Why?
You openly tagged him in your engagement announcement on social media, didn't you? So I contacted him from there.
You!
In that moment of demon-like fury from Maya, a voice came through the phone.
Maya, Haley showed me the evidence. You were really cheating, huh? I'm done with you. I'm breaking off the engagement. You'll be paying me compensation too.
What? No way! Wait a minute! Hey!
Despite Maya shouting at the screen, the call was unilaterally disconnected. My sister looked momentarily stunned, then glanced at me.
You've gone too far. I'll never forgive you. I'm going to snatch Samuel away completely.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's right. I'm going to marry Samuel and live happily ever after raising adorable babies. As for you, with your infertility, you can just live miserably after losing your husband to your sister. Right, Samuel?
At this, Samuel, who had been pale until then, suddenly perked up.
Yeah, that's right. That could work. Maya is definitely cuter than you, Haley, and I do want kids. If it's come to this with you, Haley, let's get a divorce.
Upon hearing this, Maya proudly linked arms with Samuel. I calmly took out the pre-signed divorce papers. Then, please sign this. Samuel hesitated for a moment, but pressured by Maya, he signed the divorce papers. After making sure of this, I put the divorce papers back into my bag.
Wow, you've got guts. Well, good luck, big sis.
Haley, I'm sorry, but I want children too.
I stood up and addressed them. I'll give this to the happy couple as a present. They looked puzzled as they examined the document I handed over. Eventually, as they peered into it, Maya muttered,
Natural conception is hopeless. What is this?
It's Samuel's test results from the infertility clinic. I had his sample examined.
What?
Samuel and Maya turned pale instantly.
Are you saying I'm infertile?
No way. With this, we won't be able to have children even if we get married, right?
Well, that's true. But as long as there's love, isn't it okay? As I said this with a half smile, Maya became distraught.
That's impossible. I can't marry a man who's shooting blanks like this.
Hey, Maya, what did you just say?
The two of them panicked and began to argue. I smiled and said to them at last, Oh, and by the way, I'll be suing both of you for damages. Rot in hell, you pieces of trash. And thus I departed from the room that had descended into chaos. Later, Samuel and I finalized our divorce. With the help of a lawyer, I was able to claim a larger amount than the market value in property division and damages. Samuel repeatedly called me saying Maya and I have broken up. Please, give me another chance. But I chose to block his number. Eventually, he seemed to have become like a recluse, shocked by the revelation of his infertility. He quit his job and is now in a state of despair. Maya received simultaneous damages claims from me and her ex-fiancé. She sought help from her parents, but it seems she was estranged from them. She ended up burdened with debt and quit her daytime job, now working in the nightlife scene. Even hearing all this, I feel no sympathy whatsoever. I believe they got what they deserved. As for me, 2 years later I remarried to a faithful coworker. Life with him is blissful, and we recently discovered I'm pregnant. I want to build a genuine happiness with my beloved family from now on. With these thoughts in mind, I patted my growing belly again today.